Welcome back, everyone. Well, it's getting a little colder outside, so some of those natural activities that we do during the summer that we call exercise are not going to be available to us. So when I started to talk to Dr. Paul about it, I realized that it's a really strange concept, exercise, because it isn't about the quantity of exercise, which you would think. It's about the quality of exercise. So no pain, no gain, kind of some questions about it.
Exercise until you drop.
Yeah, that's right.
Those things are, I hope, going out the window.
Yeah, sure. So tell us about your recent study that you did.
So the recent study was real fascinating because it focused just on this question. Is it appropriate to push our bodies to the brink of exhaustion every time we exercise? And what I discovered through the research study is that indeed it's not healthy, that it's a much more sensible, realistic, and most importantly, healthier approach to exercise with greater variety.
Right, right.
That confers the best health benefit. So it was really reassuring, Jesse. I did this study and it got a lot of big time publicity, but more importantly, I hope the culture behind exercise in the United States anyway is starting to change.
Well, you know what? Paul's being a little shy here. We're talking about national publications, by the way, just in case you want to know what we're dealing with here. I want to talk about the study that you did here, which really proved what you were theorizing about. You took some adults, groups of adults right around here, didn't you?
I did.
Okay, what did you do?
Well, I recruited a large group of men and women from the community, 59 of them, and I divided them up into 3 different groups. So one group got really just a small little dietary modification. I had them start to take 20 grams of protein 3 times a day.
Right.
Otherwise, they kept their normal diet and they remained fairly sedentary. They weren't exercising to begin with, so I just said, just continue doing that. The second group, I had them do the same dietary strategy, taking a little bit more protein, but then I had them perform 4 days of really intense resistance exercise. The third group, I had them follow the same 20 grams of high-quality protein 3 times a day, but I had them do a variety of exercise that was a little bit less intense in most cases. And I compared them from the beginning of a 4-month intervention to the end of a 4-month intervention. And the results were profound. So the group that I have coined with an acronym PRIZE for protein, resistance exercise, interval exercise, stretching, flexibility exercise, and endurance exercise, that was the group that paid more attention to the quality of their exercise, performed much better. They lost more belly fat. They preserved and put on actually even more lean body mass. And some of their other blood biomarkers improved drastically.
Wow. And there's a couple of things at play here. You exercise and you're sort of committed to the idea that you need to get in better shape, that you need to move more, you want to lose some weight. So you'll push yourself to the limit, and you're bored after about the first 2 weeks, right?
Isn't that the truth? Monotony sets in.
Yes, that's true.
And the monotony sets in because you're just tired. You're fatigued, because you've been expected to push yourself so hard every time you work out and to do so much exercise. I mean, think about all the little gadgets that we have now that track our movement.
Yes, right. And your pulse, all these things.
Right, and we meet our goal the more we do. And so what that is sending a message to the general public is that you got to just keep going. Keep moving, keep pushing, and do more exercise. And I'm not saying that you don't want to be active. That's really important, and there's a big distinction. You want to keep your body physically moving through a good part of the day. However, you don't want to bring it to such a point of exhaustion every time you exercise. And more importantly, Jesse, in terms of programmed, structured exercise, it should only be 4 days a week. That is the golden amount.
Right. Well, you set yourself up for failure in a way, right? If
Absolutely.
you just decide you got to pound it out at certain times. I have friends of mine that say, "Oh no, I get up at 5 in the morning and all this stuff." And I mean, I commend them for doing that, but I think to myself, there's got to be a better way. So, could you just cycle back again? That PRISE.
Good.
So we're talking about 5 things. What are they?
Good. 5 lifestyle strategies.
Right.
So the first one is the protein. Trying to consume a healthy amount, not an excessive amount of protein throughout the day. And the critical amount is 20 grams. And if you can get that 20 grams in 4 to 6 times a day, that's perfect. I only fed him 3 times. The R stands for resistance training. So do some type of body weight exercise that you're pushing against a resistance. Push-ups, sit-ups, pull-ups.
Yeah, right, got
You know, anything that you're moving your body, squats, lunges, that's resistance. The I is interval. So allow yourself to kind of exert really at a high intensity for 30 to 60 seconds, and then take a breather and recover.
Okay.
And you do that. And again, these are short workouts, 30 to 45 minutes. The S is the stretching, and we all can benefit from that. You and I have talked about that with
Sure,
our backs.
backs,
But
right.
keeping your body more flexible and mobile, so doing things like yoga, Tai Chi, Pilates, just general flexibility, really healthy and very beneficial. And then the E stands for endurance exercise. And so that would be the equivalent of you, for example, jumping off your boat and going out for a
swimming,
45-minute, 60-minute, nice, easy, gentle swim. Yeah, it can be a walk for a lot of people. I'm a huge proponent of walking, and so that endurance bout could be the equivalent of someone going
Just
out
taking
and
a
walking.
good, long walk.
Good, lung expanding, blood pumping walk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I don't know about you out there, but I love this because the whole idea of getting up at 5 in the morning and no pain,
Yeah.
no gain, and all sweating through it doesn't really work for me. But the variety does.
Yeah.
And I think as soon as you start to see that you're getting somewhere with this, that you can. I need to cycle back on one thing. People who are vegetarians, people that are pescatarians and don't feel that they're getting enough. There are some protein drinks that you can take to help you get this 20 grams, correct?
Absolutely.
Sure.
And you don't even need a powdered drink, but pea protein or
Right.
hemp protein, pea particularly, is a fabulous protein source.
Right.
So if you are a vegetarian or a vegan, the pea protein is really high quality. But you can get it through legumes.
Hey, we got
It's been a long
legumes in
time.
there. It has.
But you can you can take it through plant strong, I call it.
Right.
A plant strong diet. Absolutely. Good point. So yeah, it's about listen, if 5 a.m. is your cup of tea, have at it. But just break it up and vary it.
Right.
And don't think you have to go to the limit. No pain, no gain limit every single time.
Oh, Paul, that's terrific.
Yeah, it's fun.
Thank you for the insights. And, I can tell you, we get together before each segment and think about what we're going to talk about. You have a bottomless pit of things that or you're trying or you're going for and
I've been at it a
studies
long
you're
time.
working on. My God, you have. It's very impressive, Paul.
Thanks.
So thanks. And again, we don't know what we're going to talk about next week, but you can bet it'll be something interesting.
I'm looking forward to it.
Good. Thanks, Paul.
Thank you.
See this interview again. Please head to our website, looktvonline.com.